right. Let's see if this is gonna work for us. Wait for the live stream to kick in. All right. Hey, all right. It seems like we are actually live. Hello there, Gamer Night Productions. Good to see you. Hey, everybody. I feel like it's been a long time since we've talked. Hey, John. I'm doing well. Joshua, good to see you guys. I'm curious how the audio is coming through, if it's working all right, because I'm on like the ceiling, not the ceiling, but on the top floor of the public library. And there's a freeway next to me, so hopefully you guys can hear me well enough. Let me know. But good to see you guys. Audio's nice, Gamer Night says. Wonderful. Cool. Well, I just wanted to go live for a little bit because I haven't chatted with you guys in quite some time. It's been a little over a month that I've been taking a break from YouTube, focusing on some other things. Although I did upload one video with John Jorgensen. That's the only one. I don't know, but I've been feeling like I wanted to connect with you guys for a little bit. Just real quick, just to let you guys know, there's a feature on desktop called Super Chat that is enabled. Some of you guys have asked about that. It's a way to support basically with a little gift to help run the ministry. If that's something that you're interested in, that would be awesome. It also pins your comments to the top, so that way I can see your comments in the chat if there's anything that you wanted to share or to ask or anything else like that. But yeah, like I said, I figured I'd just go live for a little while and just check in with you guys, tell you a little bit about what's been going on, and when I plan for the YouTube channel to kind of make a return or whatever. So it's been now almost 2 months since I've really been regularly uploading. I've taken kind of a little bit of a break because I was getting a little burnt out from creating content. It is challenging to create so many pieces of content in such a short window of time. It takes a lot of work. And also just trying to figure out how to deal with all the finances and deal with just real life. And so lately I've actually been working some other jobs on the side to try and make a little bit of money. And coming up soon, Emily and I are actually going to be moving into our own little apartment here in Vancouver, Washington area. So we're looking at that in the next, I don't know, maybe week or two, hopefully before June. That's the kind of idea at the present moment. But yeah. Jackie says, watching in class, so I can't turn on the volume. Well, then you don't even know that I read your comment. Good to see you, Jackie. Jeremiah Garcia, two AMAs in one day. Yeah, I was watching John's AMA, which I really enjoyed. And so I figured, you know, it's a good way to check in with people and see how things are doing. But I wonder what's life been like for you guys in the last little bit. Hopefully things are going well. Prayer Lights, Sean, hello. Good to see you in the chat. And then Luke has asked a really good question. Have you thought about creating videos in seasons to build in breaks to make it more manageable? You know, I never thought about that actually before, like literally 2 or 3 days ago. But it's a really interesting concept because when you think about YouTube, most of the time there aren't really seasons. It's just like you do daily or you do weekly and you don't really take any breaks. And that's kind of the way that I looked at it. And which is good when it's good, and then other times it can get overwhelming as it has been in the recent past. But this idea of doing seasons was really intriguing because you can take scheduled breaks, you can kind of refresh your content and things like that. And so it's something I think I definitely need to think about a little bit more. I'm definitely interested in considering moving forward. I'm hoping to be able to have the most recent content ready for you guys by June. And to kind of start regular uploads again. I do have some things that are kind of pending, but I do have some plans to create some new content for you guys, and I'm excited to be able to do that. Meg is asking, how has your relationship with Emily been going? Our relationship with Emily has been going good. We've been working hard. We've been busy. It's been kind of an exciting season of life for us right now because her parents, who we have been living with for a while, they have lived in that same house for over 30 years. And now they're selling their house. They actually just sold it very recently. And so in the near future, they're moving out, obviously. But it's also kind of the beginning of a new season for us because we'll be moving out, get our own place again. We lived on our own in Philly for a while, but then moved in with her parents to kind of make things work. And now we're going to have our own place, which should be very, very exciting. I'm looking forward to that. So, but other than that, the relationship's going pretty well. It was both Emily's birthday and my birthday and our wedding anniversary all in the same 2-week window. So Emily is 1 week older than me, 7 days older, and then a week after that is our wedding anniversary. So in 2 weeks we had a lot of celebration, a lot of really great kind of things to kind of celebrate, I guess, and it was really, really cool. So Emily and I are both 28 years old now, and we've been married for 3 years, and hopefully for many, many more. But yeah, that's kind of in a nutshell what our relationship has been like. So yeah, yay for our own place. I agree. It's been nice living with her family, but it'll be good to have our own place for sure. Sophie Cat says, hey Justin, been missing the videos, glad you're starting to upload more. Yeah, I'm on the tail end of this break, and I'm actually kind of itching, ready to do so a little bit more. You know how kind of when you first get out of school for the summer, you're loving summer break, and then that last week or two before, it's man, now I really wish I could do something again. I'm kind of in that moment where I'm all right, I'm ready to get back at it. So yeah, anyways. You should try to get a John, Jeff, Justin, and Alan collab. Dude, that would be awesome, Jeremiah. John and Alan and I have been chatting a lot more recently about trying to do more collabs. I don't know if Jeff would be down for that. He's kind of off the mainland on his own thing, but I'd love to do a collaboration with the four of us. That would be pretty sweet. But definitely for sure, John and I have connected over the last couple of weeks, which has been really refreshing to be able to kind of have that brotherhood with someone who's in the same space as I am. So that's been pretty sweet. With Alan, definitely want to do that. Alan and I've been chatting a lot more, but it's just, logistics. How do you make that work? How do you fly across the country so that you can do something that's worth, really doing? And so we're hoping to be able to do that. Let's see what else. Happy belated birthday and anniversary. Thank you very much, Angel. Appreciate that. Joshua says, I run sound at my church, and a transgender person, LGBT person, wants to join the worship team, but the worship leader won't let them. Is that right? I don't know. I think every church has the right to make that decision for themselves. They have their own policies, their own rules. And for some churches, they may not be comfortable with that. And I respect that kind of a decision. I've been having a conversation actually today about some of the videos that I did with Matthias a couple months back ago, the series I did on gay Christianity. A pastor, I don't know where he's located in the US, but he made a 30-minute response video to our interview. So we've been having a back and forth conversation about that. And one thing I know for sure is that there are no easy answers. I don't know what the right answer is in every situation, but I know that it's whatever the right answer is, it's difficult to figure that out. It can be pretty tough. So I don't know, Joshua. I wish I could speak with more certainty. Obviously, I believe that the Bible doesn't endorse, a same-sex intimacy, that kind of a thing. But while I believe that to be the case, I also believe that, God wants us to be open to a community of all people. You see Jesus hanging out with all kinds of different people in the New Testament. So I don't know. It's a tough question to ask. I don't quite always know how to answer those. Let's see. Christy King, why is John Jorgensen quitting YouTube? To my understanding, he's not really officially going to be quitting YouTube. Quitting YouTube means that, you know, you're not going to do any content anymore, period. Like, you're deleting your channel. And John definitely said that that's not what he wants to do. But he is thinking about whether or not it's worth doing it full time or not doing it full time, which I totally relate with. I totally understand. Like, that's exactly where I'm at right now as well. You know, the thing is with Christian content is a lot of people get upset when you try to earn a living doing it. You know, even just opening up a Patreon account or doing sponsored videos or things like that. People get really upset and they say things like, you know, the gospel should be free. You know, you're evil for wanting to make a little bit of money off of it, which I can kind of understand, but I can't really get behind. Someone at a church I went to, I think said it really well. It said the gospel is free, but it's expensive getting it out there. And what I think he meant by that is, you know, when you are at a church, there's expenses. You have to pay for a building. You have to pay for a pastor's salary. You have to pay for turning on the lights. You have to pay for all these different, you know, equipment, microphones, things like that, right? So there's nothing wrong with asking people to give, freely give, right? You're not charging people to come into a church. You're just simply saying, hey, if you're blessed by this, why don't you contribute and give in the way that the Bible describes, you know, with tithes or with offerings and things like that. So that's in the church model. But on the YouTube side of things, you know, it takes a lot of time to create a video. I think most pastors, when they preach a sermon, spend, you know, 10 to 20 hours per sermon that they preach, and then that's only seen once. But when it comes to YouTube, you know, it takes about the same amount of times. I've spent 10 hours on one video easily, many times. But when you're not getting paid, how long can you do that? So if you're not working a full-time job and you're spending 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 hours a week on YouTube and you're making no money, there's only so long that you can sustain that. And John and I are both in the same position where the YouTube channel, you're not making enough money off of YouTube. Like, literally, I think I barely made a few $1,000s this last year working full-time on YouTube. And that's not something that you can do realistically moving forward. You know, the Bible talks about the importance of being a good steward of your money, and especially as a man, it talks a lot about the responsibilities that a man has for his family, providing. The Bible says, you know, a man who doesn't work is worse than an infidel. And so there are certain responsibilities that as an adult you have to have. Making money, providing for your family, things like that is one of those things for sure. And so what people don't realize is that in order to run a YouTube channel, it's a full-time job in order to do more than one piece of content a week. And so what John was saying is that by the end of the year, if he's not hitting certain goals, he can't do it full-time anymore. Maybe that means that he only does one video a month. Maybe that means less. I don't know what that translates to him. But I guess for me, what I would want to say to you guys is, if you guys do value this community, if you do value the content that John or myself or Jeff or Alan or anyone else that's kind of in the space, if you appreciate the content that we're creating, you know, you can vote with your likes and your comments and your subscribing and sharing and all that kind of stuff. That does matter. But one of the things that we have to deal with as the creator is just the day-to-day life thing of paying the bills and stuff like that. You guys don't know this, I don't know if you know this or not, but John is also living with his in-laws as well. So you can see that, like, clearly there's a trend. It's not a viable thing to do long-term. Right now, we're not making enough money just to pay the bills. And so that's why we open up Patreon accounts. That's why we sell merch. That's why we do those kinds of things to try and make it manageable. So that's what my opinion on what John is doing. We've talked about that a lot, he and I. We're kind of on the same page. You know, if you guys care about this kind of content, support it. You know, become a patron. $1 a month or something like that. Every little bit goes a long way. And the goal isn't to end the YouTube channel. Neither of us want to do that. The two of us both feel that we would love to do YouTube full time for, like, you know, years to come, right? but we can't do that on our own right now. So if that's something you care about, if you appreciate John's contents, support him. I'm a patron of John Jorgensen. Like, I believe in what he's doing. I value it. And if you feel the same way, give him some support. You know, we buy coffee, we pay for Netflix, we pay for the things that we value and that we consume. This isn't any different in my mind. So anyways, I'm gonna end my rant. That was a question that was asked. Thank you, Christy, for the question. But hopefully that kind of gives you a little bit of an understanding as to what's going on. So yeah, anyways, let's see, other questions. Hey, Ruth is saying, do you think it's a good idea to have 2 YouTube Bible teaching channels, different language, same content, trying to decide between Hindi and English? Yeah, if you're going to do some content in Hindi, some content in English, Ruth, I think you definitely should have 2 different channels. If you have English and Hindi on the same channel, I think it's going to be difficult for people to really want to follow the whole thing when only 50% of the content is even possible to be relatable to them. So I would definitely have 2 different channels, one Hindi, one English. I think that'd be better off. Noah says, hey man, just started supporting you and John on Patreon. Oh, thank you, Noah. I appreciate that. I'm sure John does as well, Noah. You're awesome. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Let's see. Jonah Pandas Graphics says, hey man, how are you? Doing well. Enjoying the nice summer weather right now. In the Northwest, the summer is kind of bipolar. It's not always beautiful. Like, for example, yesterday it started raining a tiny bit. Last week there was a little bit of rain, but today is absolutely gorgeous. Let me show you kind of where I'm at. So this right here is the public library. It's like I'm on the 5th floor. There's the freeway over there, if you hear that background noise. And then that's the floor. There's over there's the Columbia River. And then right over there in the distance is one of the mountains. It's pretty amazing. But here in downtown Vancouver, and as you can see, it is a gorgeous, beautiful, sunny day. So I'm just hanging out here, getting a little bit of vitamin D. But yeah, it's been nice. I've been enjoying the sunshine. The only problem though is allergies for sure. My throat is like being closed up because of allergies. It sucks. Victoria, can I do more live streams, please? Yeah, I'm interested in doing more live streams if that's the kind of stuff that you guys enjoy. I've been noticing John this last week doing short live streams, and I really enjoy that, you know, even though he doesn't let them like stay on his channel, he just kind of makes them disappear. It's kind of fun to connect. Nick Jansen's asking, how can you give me some tips to better understand the Bible study? Okay, so Nick, great question. I've actually done several videos on that subject, so you can actually check out those videos. That would be the first thing I'd say. The second thing is, I'm going to plug a friend, Alan Parr from The Beat, actually has a course on how to study the Bible. You can check that out. I think that course is paid for, but I'm assuming it's great stuff. Third thing is, I actually do have a free kind of mini course. If you go to thatchristianvlogger.com, there's like 10 videos you can get exclusively from that website, that are not on YouTube. That's another good resource. But then beyond that, the next thing that I would say is something that's really been helpful for me is to read commentaries. I like to go through a book of the Bible, reading different commentaries, reading what different people have written or thought about the passages that I'm studying. So I'll give you an example. Right now I'm studying the book of 1 John. I've been studying it for quite some time. And as I'm studying through that book, I'm actually going through several different commentaries, different books on the subject of 1 John. And it's actually been helping me refine my thoughts and see things that I didn't see before. So that's what I would suggest. Check out commentaries. There's a lot of free commentaries online. You don't have to buy them. Just search free Bible commentaries. Or you can find some at your local like Christian bookstore or something like that. Where's the wife? How is she? The wife, I think, is doing well. She just got home from work. Tonight she's leading out in a Bible study with a bunch of high school girls. But beyond that, she's been doing really, really well. Just celebrated her birthday recently, as I mentioned earlier. So yeah, things have been going good. Thanks for asking. Is sagging a sin? I don't know what you mean by sagging. Maybe you'll have to give me a little bit more information there. Let's see. I'm going through the comments. Let me know if there's anything else that you guys have a question on. Let's see. Emily Lane, do you have any tips on how to seek God during stressful seasons? I have 4 weeks of huge exams coming up in a week. Good question, Emily Lane. So one thing I would say is I think a lot of times we as Christians can go overboard with our emphasis on like daily devotions and Bible study. Now, real quick, let me clarify. I do believe that that is a very healthy practice for Christians to have, that regular study and Bible study, devotional, whatever you want to call it, your morning time with God, whatever words you use for it. I do believe that that is important. I do believe that that is like one of the key factors for a healthy Christian experience. Now, with that said, I think sometimes we have like this really, how do I want to describe it? I feel like we have an overreactive conscience when it comes to when we miss it. Like we feel like, oh, God isn't with me on the days that I don't do my morning devotions. I don't believe that that's actually the case. I don't believe that that's true. I think that, you know, if I think about this, like say I'm leaving to the airport at 5 in the morning because I have to go, you know, fly to another state for speaking engagements or for work or whatever the case is, right? In an ideal world, I spend quality time with my wife, you know, every day. But if it's 5 in the morning, my flight is then, does that mean that I need to wake up at 3 in the morning to spend time with Emily that morning? Or will she understand that, hey, this is one of those rare occasions where we won't spend time, and she'll just trust that I love her and I trust that she loves me and, you know, all that kind of good stuff. So what I would say is, Emily, if you have like an insanely busy season, maybe instead of doing, you know, a 30-minute or a 1-hour devotional time or whatever the case is, you know, say a quick prayer in the morning, invite God to be with you, but like don't be super stressed that you have to be spending hours and hours and hours and hours with God. Like God understands. God's with you in the moments that you're reading the Bible for sure, but he's also with you every other moment of the day. And so that's kind of my nutshell advice for that situation. Hopefully that makes sense. Let's see. Holly Wythe, good to see you, Holly. Oh, by the way, Holly, I remember your comment. Congratulations on your baptism. Super stoked for that. And by the way, thank you so much for sharing that little testimony with me in the comments. Like I really, really appreciate that. Okay, your question though. Best thing to do on a gap year before university. Want to get closer to God, but also save up money. So there are many different like missionary programs where you can serve for like a year. That's not necessarily going to help save you money. You know, you can certainly fundraise those kinds of things. So I'll give you an example. My wife, Emily, was a missionary in the Philippines for an entire year, for a gap year, and she was able to fundraise that, so she didn't have to pay out of pocket to do it. And that was a great experience for her. For me, I went to a Bible college. I took 2 years off instead of 1. I did a 2-year Bible college. Again, that cost money, but they had like a work study program where I was able to basically pay it off as I was going through the program. So that was really valuable to help me grow a lot closer to God for sure. So mission trip, short-term Bible college are really great ways to grow closer. May not help you earn money at that one, but I think that they're very, very, very valuable. Another thing that you can do, at least during the summer, I know a lot of people do, is like summer camp. Like there's Christian summer youth camps that are really great. I've had many friends go through that. They said it's a really amazing, like life-changing experience, and you get to earn money doing that as well. So that's something that I would definitely suggest checking on if that's available in your area. Yeah, hopefully that helps. Christy King, if you're not feeling God's presence or his peace or his love, does that mean you're doing something wrong? No, not necessarily at all. Your feelings are not a good gauge of your relationship with God. You know, the Bible makes it pretty clear in Jeremiah that our hearts are deceitful and wicked, right? And so that means that even in the moments that we're feeling bad, it doesn't always mean that God is like separating from us. Or on the vice versa, in the moments where we're feeling really good, it doesn't always mean that God is happy with us in those moments as well, you know? So I'll give you an example. Like when I was in high school, I didn't have a relationship with God. I was happy. I was fine. You know, a good chunk of my high school years, like nothing was wrong. Does that mean that I was in good standing with God? No, not at all. And then what happened is when I started to like sense God kind of bringing me back, when I started to sense God kind of like wooing me, I started to feel conviction. I started to feel bad about some of the ways that I was living my life and the way that I was treating people and things like that, did that mean that God was leaving me in that moment? No, in fact, if anything, he was drawing even closer than before. And so my point is that your feelings are a very poor metric to know where God is in your life. What is reliable is not your feeling, but what is reliable is the Word of God. Are you seeking after him with your whole heart? Are you spending time in the Word? What does God say about you, even if you're not quite feeling it? And so to get back to your question, if you're not feeling his presence, does that mean that you're doing something wrong? It could mean that. It could be just the Holy Spirit working on your heart, but it also could be, just that this is just a false sense of guilt. Don't go by your feelings. Go by principle. Go by what the Word of God says. If you're living according to that word as best as you can, that's what's more reliable than just how you feel on a given day. That's my 2 cents. Paul and Morgan, what's going on in the comment section? Good to see you guys. If you guys aren't following Paul and Morgan, these guys are blowing up on YouTube. They are an awesome Christian couple, and they're making content specifically around Christian dating and relationships from what I see. And they're doing a great job. Check them out, give them a sub, and they do some pretty cool content. Let's see, what else? Will you and John be doing a live stream when John comes to visit you? We haven't made plans about what we're gonna do when he comes and visits. I don't even know the dates. John and Aaron are supposed to be coming, or Sweet Bear. John and Sweet Bear are supposed to be coming out to Portland to visit me at some point this summer. I don't know when. We haven't locked any of that kind of stuff in, but I hope so. I hope that he does, and we will definitely collaborate. We'll definitely either do a live stream or videos or vlogs. We're gonna for sure do something. What that something is, not too sure yet. Jay Powell, do you have any advice for aspiring Christian YouTubers? Yeah, do it. Like, just get going, get started. Don't let your lack of technology stop you. Like Paul and Morgan, who I just referenced in the comments, they shoot on an iPhone from what I understand. So just get started, get doing it. It's pretty awesome. It's a great ministry to have. It's a fun community to be a part of. There's a Facebook group on YouTube called Christian YouTube Creators or something like that. Look for that. There's a lot of people that you can connect with, get advice from. It'll be really helpful. If you want something more formal, I do have a course available at shop.thatchristianvlogger.com where I can teach you how to do this a little bit better. I think that would be helpful if you want some practical tips. So there you go. When am I coming to Lexington to collab? Dude, I would love to come to Lexington to collab some of these times. Actually, what would be better? You guys should come out to Portland to collab. The summer is awesome here in Portland. Let's talk, Paul. Let's talk. Let's definitely make this happen sometime in the near future. Let's make it happen before the end of summer. Let's do an actual collaboration. Hit me up on Facebook. Let's talk about this. But I'd be super down to do that. Victoria, one question. How do you feel about women wearing skirts 24/7, I think is what you mean, and wearing head coverings? Last comment. Sorry for bugging you. Head covering, don't really care. What I think about women wearing skirts, I don't think it's a big deal. If women want to wear skirts, good for them. If it's maybe a little bit more of a distracting type of skirt, I'd prefer not to, unless you're my wife. If you're my wife, go for it. I love it. I don't know. I think society puts way too much emphasis on what women wear or don't wear. I think, I understand why Christian women might want to be thinking about this, because you want to be respectful and you want to be considerate of your Christian brothers. But, largely speaking, that's a battle that I, as a man, need to deal with, not you as a woman. So I appreciate when women are mindful, but trust me, that's not going to solve the problem. There are parts of the world where women are covered from head to toe, and when they see your ankle or when they see your wrist, then it's like lust. And so clearly it's not clearly putting on more clothes doesn't fix the problem. The problem is sin. The problem is we are distorted in our view of women and love as men and women. So while it's helpful for you to think about that, I wouldn't shoulder that burden. I think that's namely something that guys we need to wrestle with on our own, in our own time and in our own way. So there you go. Anyways, that's 30 minutes. I figured I'd only do 30 minutes. Thank you guys for hanging out with me for this little bit. As I mentioned, if you're wondering when the channel is going to be relaunched, sometime in the month of June is what I'm hoping for, what I'm thinking of. Got some fresh content coming your way. I hope it's going to be helpful. I hope it's going to be of value. Do me a favor, after this live stream is done, I'm going to post a thing on my community tabs. You have to be subscribed and you have to have notifications on in order to see this community post. But I'm going to be asking you guys what kind of content you want to see in June. So let me know what kind of content you're looking for, what kind of videos you'd like to see, what subjects, Bible questions, advice, anything like that. Let me know what you're thinking in that community tab. Last thing I'm going to say, again, is kind of on the same note that John was talking about in his live stream today. If you value this content, if you value his channel, my channel, the Paul and Morgan Show, any other people out there like Alan or whoever else is out there making content, support them. Like the videos, comment on them, but even beyond that, support them. Give them a $1 or $2 pledge on Patreon. It makes a huge difference. So anyways, thank you guys. I'll be looking for your guys' comments in the community tab, and I'll see you guys later. God bless, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.